Hello, and welcome to the episode 9 of The Learning Stoic. And we're back with another Marcus Aurelius reading today. So, I believe we picked off here. For my adoptive father, gentleness and immovable adherence to decisions made after full consideration. No vain taste for so-called honors, stamina and perseverance, a ready ear for anyone with any good proposal for the common good, to reward impartiality, give everyone their due, and experience of where to tighten, where to relax, putting a stop to homosexual love of young men, a common courtesy, excusing his court from constant attendance at dinner, with him and the obligation to accompany him out of town. Those kept away by some other commitment always found him no different towards them, focused and persistent in deliberation in council, never satisfied with first impressions, and leaving a question prematurely. The concern to keep his friends with no extreme of surfeit or favoritism, his own master in all things and serene, with it foresight for the longer issues and unfussy control of the least detail. The check he put in his reign on acclamations and all forms of flattery, his constant watch on the needs of the empire, his stewardship of its resources, and his tolerance of some people's criticism in the area, no superstition, fear of the gods, nor with men any populism or obsequious courting of the mob, but a sober, steadfast in all things, and nowhere any vulgar or newfangled taste. In those things he could conduce the comfort of life, and here fortune gave him plenty, to enjoy them without pride or apology either. So, no routine, acceptance of their presence, or regret in their absence. The fact that no one would describe him as a fraud or an impostor or a pedant, but rather as a man of mellow wisdom and mature beyond flattery, able to take charge of his own actions and others' affairs. Further, his high regard for genuine philosophers. For other sort he had no hard words, but easily saw through them sociability, sociability too, and a sense of humor, not taken to excess, sensible care of his body, neither vain nor valedictorian, but not neglectful either. But this does not but that his own attention to himself left very little need for doctors, doses, or applications. Most importantly, his readiness to defer ungrudgingly to those with some special ability. It might be in a literary expression or the study of some laws or customs, or any other subject, to give them his own active support to reach acknowledged eminence in their own specialities, acting always in accordance with tradition, yet not making the preservation of tradition an overt aim. Further, no liking for change and chance, but a settled habit in the same places, and some practices to resume instantly for attacks of migraine, fresh again and vigorous for his usual work, not to keep many matters secret to himself, only a few exceptional cases, and those solely of the state concern, sense and moderation in such things as the provision of shows, contracting of public works, doles and distributions, the acts of a man with an eye for precisely what needs to be done, and not the glory of doing it. He was not one to bathe at all hours. He had no urge to build houses. He was not particular about food and the material color of his clothes, or youthful beauty in his slaves. The fact that his dress came from Lorium, sent up from his country house there, and many details of his way of life at Lovinium, and how he handled the apologetic customs officer in Tusculum, and all such modes of behavior. Nothing about him was harsh, relentless, or impetuous, and you would never say of him that he broke out a sweat. But everything was allotted in its own time, and thought as by a man of leisure. His way was unhurried, organized, vigorous, consistent in all. What is recorded of Socrates would apply to him too, that he could regulate abstinence and enjoyment where many people are too weak willed to abstain or enjoy too indulgently. Strength of character and endurance or sobriety, as the case may be, signifies the man of full and dominable spirit, as was shown by Maximus in his illness. So that's a really interesting few lines by Marcus Aurelius, because you can see just how much impact his father had on him. And with the homosexual thing, society's evolved quite a bit, and I know me and several other Stoics that I know really, it's not like you do you. I don't care. Um, but yeah, but it's really interesting how much of an impact his father had on him, and even though he was in these positions of power, his father was head of the Roman Empire. He and this I think helped really would show Marcus Aurelius what to do when he became emperor, because Marcus Aurelius says he was quite temperate in all things that he did. He acted quite stoically as an emperor, and so would Marcus Aurelius. So, just really interesting things, and I'll do another one of these here soon. So, if you made it this far, leave a like and subscribe, and thank you.